Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Always, and welcome back to Super Hostile Modded Dalania. In the last episode, we went exploring, so let's go look at our amazing map. We are basically right there where the cursor is, and we went up to this area, which is, according to my bigger map, the ruins of Dalania. And we discovered that it's awful there. Not because of the mobs or spawners or anything like that, but because of the heat. We are struggling with temperature, and so we need to fix that. So what we're going to do is today, I'd like to try to explore more up that direction. I would really like to go to this big area, which, looking at my map, is called the Ruins of Nispa, or something like that. And I'd really like to go up there because that looks like a very big city. However, we need to deal with our heat issue. And so what we're going to do is we're going to make some stuff. First things first, we are going to craft up some strainers. So should be pretty easy. I've got everything with us. So just some iron bars, hoppers, chests. Nothing too difficult. And we are going to use this stuff to make a bit of a fish farm. So let's see, how do we want to do this? I guess let's go ahead and just put the strainers here. So the strainers have to go underneath water, and I guess we can just make a staircase for right now. And I don't know why I made it like that, but I did. And we're gonna make a infinite spring up there just because I don't want to listen to running water, which, by the way, there's water behind here. I've been growing sugarcane because we're going to need a lot of that. And perfect. Okay, so we have the strainer set up. We just need to get the fishing, what is it, the strainer part, the actual like net, and some bait. We also want to get some storage underneath. We're just going to plug those in. Perfect. Okay, so to get some of the bait, we're just going to make mincemeat, and then that will give us some worms. And we can get a few worms into each of these. We'll be able to do more later, but for right now, that is good enough. And then the last thing we need is the actual like net part. And for that, we just need some string. And the real reason we needed all of that sugarcane is for these. Now, these do not break, which is amazing and awesome, because that means that we can just hook these up and forget about them. And I want the fisherman stuff anyways. It's going to catch a lot of different fish. And what I'm trying to get with all of this is we're trying to get Jellied Slime, I think. So before, when we were playing the Spellbound Caves, we went for the Aussie liner. So Aussie chestplate liner is really good. It keeps you kind of constantly at a good temperature. It doesn't matter if it's hot or it's cold. It keeps you kind of medium temperature. But it is really expensive, and we don't have like most of this stuff. So what we can do instead, and I kind of forgot about this, there is jellied slime helmet, armor, chest plate, legs, boots, all that kind of stuff, and it requires ice cubes and slime. Now, we don't have either of those. The slime is something that's really kind of annoying. I don't know if there's a good way to get some slime right now, but we can at least start working towards getting the ice cubes, because that comes from ice, which comes from frost minnows, which we can catch. Now, there is a fish that gives us lily pads. I believe there is a fish that can give us something. But I'm going to have to look into if there is a way for us to get any sort of... We're already starting to get stuff. Yes, I'll take a power 4 enchanted book. That is a really good roll. I'll need to get an anvil at some point, which I don't think I have all that much iron. I have enough iron that I could. I don't think I'm going to right now, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that stuff run, and I think I'm also going to start setting up some other farms around. We should probably start getting just different things. I don't know. We did complete a quest with that, which is going to give us some more bait, mincemeat, cooked parasites, silkworm egg. The silkworm egg is actually something that we'll probably want to use so that we can get silkworms, and that is a survival basic. Yeah, that would be really good. You can put one in a chamber over a hopper to automate collection. So yeah, this is something that we're going to want to also set up. And so I think that's something else we'll do. I will kind of set something up off camera. And let's see, what else did we get from all that? So we also got some glass, water bucket, and a bunch more strainers and all that kind of stuff. So we could even set up more. The cooked parasite and the mincemeat can give us more worms. And we can put one of these, what are they called? Bait pots in one of these guys to kind of make sure that it's even better. So let's just do something like this. We have a pearl sardine, which gives us ender pearls. That's really nice. Pikes, catfish, give you a lot of salmon. So this is also a good way to just get food. We're going to be eating a lot of fish, but it's not the end of the world. So, I also, by the way, between episodes, made a bunch of purified water because we're going to have to be drinking actual water for the time being. So let's put this stuff away. And I'm going to set up a silkworm farm. We have, I think I'd used all of my eggs. I'm going to see what animals I can find, and we'll potentially even set up like a chicken farm or some other stuff. Get some crops growing in general, and I will come back once we are a little bit more prepared to potentially, actually before we do anything else, what skills do we need to improve? So let's see, skill progression. Looks like we have everything we need with that, so let's just go ahead and get a little bit more, let's get a little bit more farming and attack, and then agility. Why not? Okay, so I'm gonna do some work off camera, and I will bring you guys back in when hopefully we're ready to figure out a way to get some slime and get adventuring again. So be right back in a little bit. So a bit of an update, and I've been growing birch trees because, well, a couple reasons we'll get to. Made a couple of farms, crop farms. We actually completed a thing. We completed a couple things. We have silk cocoons. We'll get to those guys in a second. We also have a bunch of wheat seeds, so we've completed that one. And I went to a birch forest. I went exploring a little bit, mostly just to search for anything of interest. But I've been growing all of these birch trees. We've got our sugarcane, and then over here we have our silkworm. I had to think of what it was called, and a chicken. Now I'd like to get more chickens because eggs can make more bait so that we can potentially get what we need. So I did get a couple of enchanted books from just kind of the fishing stuff. Nothing super great. Propulsion, fire aspect. That one's not bad. Power 2, feather falling 2. Shield bash, temptation. Nothing great. But we need to complete a couple of quests. You might have noticed I have a bunch of birch wood in my inventory. And that is because we are going to make a bunch of boats. And the reason for this is so that we can exchange them for animals. I think I have enough for 2 sets. And let's just get those guys. So I want the random animal loot crate because I'm hoping to get chickens. Lizard, cow. Okay, not what I wanted, but we'll put the lizard in there. We'll keep the cow separate for now. So I'm going to do that a bunch of times and hopefully get some chickens because I'm not ready to bring you guys back in quite yet. We need to do a couple other things. We need to get a couple other things as well. So I'm gonna kind of cut down these trees as they grow. For the record, to get, I went back to the town. I found a bunch of saplings, normal saplings. So they look different, but for example, this is an acacia sapling. I can't plant it yet; it needs higher gathering. But you can combine it with a bucket of dirt to get a seed for a dynamic plant, for dynamic trees. And these guys are more fun. They also drop, so the catkins is how you get that. And then if I want my dirt back, I can just do that. So not a big deal. But the other thing that we need to do is we are going to complete another quest. It is in the novice farm. No, novice fishing, and it's going to give us frogs. Now, frogs are really important. We're gonna get quite a few of these spawn eggs. So we have what, 3? And the experience is also nice. We're going to upgrade our building and I think our gathering. The building is for anvils. So there are anvils in the armory areas of the cities, but we can't pick them up yet. However, what I want to do is I'm going to put a frog or 2 in here. I can always get more. I'm going to put the frogs in here, and hopefully they won't escape. But frogs have a chance, if we murdered one, would have a chance of dropping slime. However, they're also kind of like chickens, and where they will actually drop a bunch of slime balls every once in a while. So let's make, do I have any doors? I have some trap doors. Let's just make some doors. And we'll just do this so that these guys don't escape, but they can just kind of hang out back here. And eventually I'll put some like systems back here probably. But yeah, so I am going to continue working off camera, trying to get slime and the frost minnows, which is complete chance. Unfortunately, there is no guarantee. I don't know why that one I broke, but I did. And we have the snowy walleye. Doesn't really matter. Just trying to get whatever I can, and we just need to get more bait. So I'm going to try to get some more chickens, as well as, I mean, I do have a couple of eggs. If I could just get one more chicken in there, I can breed them, and then they will eventually make a ton of eggs. And then we can use that for bait with clownfishes and sugarcane, and it's fantastic. So I am going to get a bunch of stuff going, and I will bring you guys back in once I'm ready to make the at least one part of the Jellied Slime armor. So we are hopefully, I don't know if you need to have all of it to cool off or not, but we're gonna go with one little bit, and I'm also gonna continue farming. There is a bunch of farming stuff. I need to get eggplant. That is the British name for eggplant, and you know there is some new, like there's some new quests that are available now, but yeah, I'm gonna continue working, and I'll bring you guys back in once we're ready to go out and explore. Alright, so the bait is working pretty well for the most part. Running out of some, but there has been some development since the last clip. So our chickens, I did get another chicken egg. I got a few others, but these guys are going to be giving us plenty of eggs in the future. And I also went ahead and chunk loaded this entire area for the sole purpose of letting these systems run while we're gone. I also started preparing for bundle stuff with fishing. And yeah, so the frogs have also produced. By the way, this is the other stuff we got. So we had that before the lizard. We've got pig, deer, sheep, and cow. Over time, I'm going to get more and more spawn eggs, and that's how we're going to do farms. But the frogs have dropped slime balls, so this is what they do. They lay like eggs, and it's just slime. So we have a bunch of slime balls now. And if you saw my inventory, you might have noticed I have a bunch of ice cubes, which is exactly what we need. Now, I did a little bit of testing, and I don't know exactly how this stuff works, the jellied slime armor, but we're gonna make what we can. So I have one frost minnow, which gives us supposed to give us a little bit of ice. So that doesn't work too well. Packed ice. We're going to need the packed ice later anyway, so we're just going to keep the ice. So I have enough for some boots. Boots or something. And I think what we need to do is actually have 2 pieces of armor. It's really hard to find information on the mod, the Toughest Nails mod. But I believe that is roughly what we need. Do we have any more workbenches? Crafting tables. I can make more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so how did I get all this ice? Because I clearly didn't get it from... Also, I have another enchanted book. Incendiary. Meh. Nothing interesting. So clearly I did not get all of this ice from fish, because 1 out of like 20 or so fish is not good odds. So what I do? Well, I'll tell you. Actually, I'm going to show you in a moment. So I'm just going to put some stuff away. If we had more eggs, we have more eggs. Perfect. So let's go ahead and make the rest of this into mincemeat. This is going to be how we get most of our worms. And those guys can sit for a while. I'm going to get rid of... Yeah, I'm going to get rid of these blocks. And we're going to head off to a farm I made. A very basic farm. You might notice my pickaxe is almost dead. Luckily, we can use iron pickaxes. And that is pretty good. So we are going to head off into the midday. And we're going to go look at an ice farm. So I made an ice farm. It's a very basic one. And pretty much all you need is a cold spot and some water. So over this direction, we are in a mushroom island biome. But over this way, there is this like little river, which there is some ores kind of scattered around. Does make me wonder if there are a lot of different ores, like maybe iron or amethyst, kind of hidden in the ground. There is some enemies. Do have to watch out for them. But if we follow this little river up to its peak, this entire area is an extreme biome, extreme hills biome, and there is a bunch of ice. And so I just made an ice farm up here. Very basic, nothing too fancy. Hey, come back here, riding horse. Why are you running from me? No. What are you doing? What is wrong with this horse? Oh my gosh. This lead is doing nothing, for the record. This horse is very desperately trying to get away. That was weird. I don't understand this horse. That was just... Okay, no, don't do this again. We're gonna stand right here. Okay. We're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna tie you up to that. Stay, or I will murder you. So I made an ice farm. Eventually we will use this for actually collecting the ice, but as you can see, it's pretty quick. And so we're gonna get a little bit more of the jellied slime, and I think we should have enough for a second piece of the armor. And if not, it will not take too long to get that. So I don't have any more food. I did make a bunch of fish because amazingly I have a lot of fish, and we should be able to get 2 more ingots. And let's go ahead and let's do the leggings. So our leggings are common, whereas our chest plate is legendary. Unfortunately, our boots were amazing. But for right now, we kind of need to focus on getting lag spike apparently. We need to focus on getting a little bit more in terms of we need to not be burning up whenever we go anywhere. So this is my ice farm. We'll use that later. So for the record, eventually we'll be able to make the Aussie liner, which is the flip-flop. It keeps self-adjusted. It does require the warm stuff, which requires magma blocks or a bunch of nether crops, and a lot of this stuff is going to be kind of a pain to get. Once we find some lava, it shouldn't be too bad, but the slime will be easy and all that kind of stuff. The cooling stuff is going to be amazingly easy once we can get some silk touch. Alternatively, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but can't we make ice from the ice cubes as well? So yeah, this stuff just freezes so quickly. Anyways, let's sneak past these guys, and we're going to head back towards the ruins. So I want to head basically straight north. So we're gonna see F3. So we want to head basically just straight that direction. And if we need to, I'm going to make a horse hole, which is a very advanced technique for putting your horse in a 2D hole that it can't get out of. I don't know why this horse really wants to leave me, but we're gonna just explore. So the last time we came up this way, I actually wonder if those cows drop anything good for us for the Aussie liner, but there is these ruins, and this is just a small town. We might want to explore this later, but I'm going to skip by it for now, and we're going to go further north. So I don't know how far. That way there is another thing. There's a lot of soul sand in this area as well. That is going to be good for us to kind of keep in mind, because that is basically we can use soul sand for growing netherwort, another farm thing, and eventually we'll get more farmable stuff and be able to get like high tier nether stuff. So this says welcome to Gava. So according to my map, the ruins of Gava. So we're almost there. If we just go a little further north, we'll get to the big town, and it is almost night, which is not great. Yeah, there is a lot of spawners. I don't know. That is a market. Interesting. So we're going to want to stop off here in a second, which means the horse is not going to like me. We're going to go ahead and put that down. Stop it, horse. Why are you doing this? Alright, and then we can go ahead and sleep. So, we are still really warm, but it's not as terrible, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how the temperature mechanics work. I really dislike Tough as Nails temperature mechanics because it is kind of confusing. But while we're here, let's grab a little bit of soul sand, and I can even grab some of these string. Yeah, so we are burning up. One thing we can do to kind of help with this is we put water down, we sit in water, and we wait. So I'm just going to get a little bit cooler. I think there is things that we can look at. A thermometer with some redstone. But yeah, unfortunately, there's just not good ways to keep cool. The temperature mechanic thing is just rough. Let's go ahead and get back on this guy. Are we heading north? No. This way. Alright, so this is the big area that I wanted to explore. This is the ruins. That is a market. Right here. This is probably something. But as you can see, there are a lot of things. Come on. Don't know if it's wise to bring my horse up here, but there is gold, cobblestone, wood. We're going to just loot everything. Okay, so I don't know if there's anything here. I think these are just ruins. Like, obviously. But, if we look at my map, if I look at my map, there is a mountain range just a little bit north of this. And so I don't know if there's more or what, but just get out of these cobwebs. And we are burning up. So there is a bit of a... Oh man, I need to take a break. There's some sunken ships, which is kind of cool. So in general, we need to figure out where we want to go. And I'm looking and seeing that there's a lot of this stuff that is just kind of generic dungeon, but not really anything fantastic in terms of gonna get us stuff we need. Getting out of this biome is gonna be great though. And so we can kind of work our way around the coast. There is a mountain range over here, and it would not surprise me if there's something over here. So that's kind of where we're at. We need to explore. It would be nice. Alright, so there's like blizzes. There's, what are you actually called? Ice wraiths. Alright, cool. We're gonna dump like all this stuff in here. Except for we need our bow. What was the other thing that I put in there on accident? I don't even know. So it's not that important. Did I have extra blocks or something? Whatever. So we're gonna murder some of these ice wraiths. I don't know if they drop anything, but Doesn't look like they are. There is a bunch of them, though. This is just, I think, they spawn naturally in this area. But yeah, so there is definitely a large mountain range here, obviously. But the question is there anything in there? And that's going to be kind of, I think the biggest challenge with this map is once we get the temperature stuff kind of solved, the big challenge is going to be finding points of interest that are actually interesting and not just kind of generic dungeons. I think all the ruins, judging by the fact that the town center didn't have anything, for the record, if you missed the previous episodes, the towns are based on, at least the towns in this area are based on Age of Empires, and they have a very specific look, which I am familiar enough with. I have played a lot of Age of Empires in the past, and the town centers are kind of the most important place. So if there's nothing there, probably not going to be much of anything else. Hi, dwarf. So I'm not seeing anything of really big interest. Now, we're going to come to a river at some point, and that's where I'm probably going to end things off today. We have some jellied armor. We have not much else, to be honest, but right here's the river. Okay, so this river goes through the mountain range. Again, I have a map that I'm looking at, and I just don't know. I mean, we can climb up the mountain, and it might be good to look. There's probably stuff here, but it's probably hidden. Might be good to look. We'll get off the horse, as much as that's a bad idea. We're gonna make our way down the mountain, which is very dangerous with a horse this fast. And I just want to see. I guess let's. Oh, that's what I put back in the inventory. The lead and the fence. Let's get these two out. You can't shift on that. So we'll leave our horse there for a moment. And I just want to see what is at the end of the river. And it's going to be an absolute pain to get back, so I'll probably look and then leave you guys. Okay, so it just runs into the corner of the river, the mountain. So, at this point, I guess there's not much else for us to do. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore a little bit on my own, especially if I can find things that are not in the super hot climates. That would be nice. But I'll just kind of plan to meet you guys back in the next episode, somewhere of interest, and we'll do a little bit of adventuring and see what we can get into. So there is a giant forest in that direction, and there might also be some towns, so we'll see what we can find, and we'll kind of go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!